This isn't a very good look, is it? Michael Lohscheller, the newly appointed CEO of Polestar, an EV company with a huge vested interest in the energy transition and EVs, has taken to the opinion pages of the London Times newspaper to plead the case for electrification and EVs and imploring people to buy them. Not sure that's going to work, quite frankly. I don't quite see how the CEO of an EV company lecturing people on why they should buy EVs will go down that well. It's nothing personal, it's just that EVs are terrible at being practical and convenient modes of transport for most people. Unless you have off-street parking, don't have very far to go, and can afford to lose tens of thousands of dollars on your purchase, they might be fine, but for anyone else, they're a complete pain in the backside. Charging the things is painful at the best of times, and the depreciation is disastrous. My advice to anyone considering an EV is simple: don't. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney-based YouTuber. Be sure to follow me on the usual socials for more content, links in the description, and please make sure you're subscribed and have enabled all notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you'd like to support this channel, why not buy me a coffee? Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Polestar has had a pretty rough few years. Its share price has dropped over 80% since its peak in 2021. It has been dumped by parent company Volvo, Hertz have pulled the plug on buying them for its fleet, and prices to consumers have been slashed. But Lohscheller is bizarrely upbeat about Polestar's future, built on the back of climate alarmism, of course, as his article in the Times explains. Car makers stand ready to speed the green transition. It is do or die time, and promises are only real if we keep them. Greenhouse gas emissions are still increasing, despite all the discussions, despite all the ambitions, and sadly despite all the investments by private sector companies and public bodies. What's missing? Speed and a stronger sense of urgency, which will not come on their own. They require action. The transport sector, and the car industry in particular, has the technologies and tools to play its part. Electrification. There is no other credible and so well-developed technology to help us live up to the Paris Agreement. Electric vehicles, EVs, are getting better and better. Range, charging speed, infotainment, performance, comfort. Across almost any segment, chances are the EV is better than the internal combustion alternative. This, as we all know, is nonsense. Range and charging speed better than internal combustion? What EV can charge from 0 to full in 3 minutes? I think not. But anyway, let's continue. There are some great examples where the shift to EVs continues to accelerate. Norway, India and China, to name 3. These are all examples of how small incentives and a clear stance have an exponential impact. And yet in many countries the pace of adoption is slowing as policymakers backtrack. The EU's ambitious plans are being questioned by the very people who put them in place. Small incentives? Who are you kidding? This is a multi-billion-dollar push because without it, nobody would buy EVs. And China and India are the biggest CO2 emitters on the planet. And Norway has almost free electricity thanks to hydro. The rest of the world is battling mad net zero mandates without the freedom to burn coal or benefit from limitless free electricity, and support for jobs being created by companies such as Northvolt or Vattenfall, among many investing in wind power, who play an important role in the future competitiveness of our region, is dwindling. Well, Northvolt isn't exactly a great example, as it was reported just a few days ago that it is on the verge of bankruptcy. And the insane government subsidies to wind power installations, some of which are now into the billions of dollars, is the only thing that keeps that industry afloat. And don't forget, all those vast subsidies come from the same source, namely the poor, long-suffering taxpayer. And the final paragraphs reveal the true intent. We urge those at COP29 to live up to their commitments to keep global warming within 1.5 degrees and to strengthen their support for available climate solutions, including the transition to electric mobility and putting a global price on carbon emissions. Whether large or small, there are plenty of companies already committed to making this transition happen. Use us, our technologies. and our relentless faith to speed things up. Please buy an EV from us so we don't go bankrupt too. Oh God, it's just too embarrassing. The bottom line is this: EVs are a product that most people don't want. They're a huge step backwards from the convenience and practicality of a combustion car, and their market is limited to the wealthy inner city dwellers who can charge off street and absorb a huge bill for depreciation. And that's a tiny fraction of the car buying market. The rest of us aren't interested, and penning a begging letter in a newspaper isn't going to change that.